Insiders Facebook group was a little difficult. So hello, everyone. Let me make sure we are live. And it's working this time. Apologies for being 4 minutes late. I am live with Ross Gray from Cloud Campaign, and we are going to talk to you guys about how to easily scale a social media agency today. She says I'm still in Ross. This is great. Stop. Seriously? Huh. I should be in Restream.
Let's see.
Oh my gosh. Let's see. Okay. Oh, the joys of going live.
Love, software. It always works
I
just
think
the
it
way you
is.
want
I
it
think
to.
it is. Okay. I see me on my page. So we should be good to go. Yep. And it says the wrong thing though. This isn't ambitious outcomes. This is how to easily scale a social media agency with Mandy and Ross. Okay.
Perfect.
So let's make sure we get in the Facebook group first and we can do the thing. I'm going to have Allie share it and then we will get going. So Ross, she's like, why am I not seeing you? This is so great. Refresh. Maybe I wonder if it's public. Yeah, I think it is. Let's see. Yep, it is.
Can you see it?
Yep. I'm going to go ahead and share to the group. Okay. And I'll type it out. How to easily scale your social media agents. Oh gosh, now she's doing it. Okay, put a title. This is so. Okay. So we are.
It's okay. We're just doing a recording, right? It's just we can just edit it later.
Yeah. Right. Totally
okay, good.
Edit the lives. Yeah.
Yeah.
Never. That's why I like lives though, because it's like you never know what you're gonna get.
It's true.
Who knows what's gonna happen? Okay. So let me make sure we are officially in the Facebook group and we will get going. Thank you guys for your patience. You're better, Ross. It's not nearly as pixelated, so we should be good to go.
That's good. I just can't move, I think, is the
Okay. So we will get going in a sec. I'm just making sure it's live on here because it's live everywhere.
It's getting pixelated again.
Is it? It's like,
yeah, it sounds like, I don't know if it's the switcher app. It sounds like my computer is about to light on fire.
Maybe your computer, maybe it's a bit too much for your computer to handle.
These MacBooks, let's see.
And I keep refreshing in the group. Okay, so Allie said we should be live in the Facebook group. Oh my goodness, it's working. Yay, thank you guys for joining us. Yes.
And I apologize for the pixelation here. I don't know why that happened.
It's fine. My iPhone is just clearly a little bit more clear than your.
Are you using an iPhone and it's working this much better than a MacBook?
Yep.
Good
iPhone
to know.
12 Pro, man, their camera is legit. But the switcher app with the iPhone makes all the difference in the world, though, because it's not nearly this clear if I just go live, like on Facebook, without the app.
Oh, that makes sense.
Okay. Thank you guys so much for joining us. 8 minutes later, we thought we had everything good to go and it was perfect, and then it wasn't. And here we are. And now it's still slightly not perfect because Ross is a little blurry, but that's okay. We're going to get going anyway. So today we are going to talk about how to scale your social media agency easier. So what are the tactics that you can deploy right now in your agency to scale it, leveraging tactics, organization, and tools? So I have with me Ross Gray from Cloud Campaign. And before we get started, I'm just going to let Ross give a little rundown of who he is and his company and a little bit of an intro there, and then we can get going. So go ahead, Ross.
Yeah, perfect. Well, thanks for having me, first of all, and thank everybody for showing up here and listening to me ramble for a little bit. But yeah, I'm Ross. I'm one of the co-founders here at Cloud Campaign. We are a digital platform designed to help marketing agencies streamline social media management, basically. And through the course of the last few years, I've worked with thousands of agencies. I've helped them build out their pricing models. I've helped them build out their sales strategies and their marketing efforts. So during that time period, I've gotten to know a bit about the agency space and kind of best practices.
Awesome. Perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining me, Ross. And you guys in the Facebook group, let us know what questions you have as we get going on this, and we will answer your questions at the end. Those of you joining us on other platforms, thanks so much for joining us. I'll look at your questions later. This is for Mod Agency Insiders on how to scale your social media agency. So what we're going to do is just go through these top tactics that we've been telling you guys about that we're going to share with you. And so the first one is, how do we get organized as a social media agency? How can you get organized to focus on growing your agency? And so, Ross, I'm going to go into a little bit just about, in general, what we found as a social media agency and what benefits us as far as organization goes. And then I'll turn it over to you. So
Perfect.
Organization is key when it comes to scaling an agency. So one, you have to have processes in place. A sound onboarding process is ideal, and you really need to have that. So you need to know what happens from the moment a customer, really the whole path, but from the moment the customer says, yes, I want to work with you guys, what happens now? And it can't just be a random event that happens every time you have a new client and you go scrambling and you just throw stuff together. Like, you guys need a set process in order to streamline things, in order to scale. So organization is key when it comes to really everything. And then I'll kind of pass it off to Ross and we can continue on this topic.
Yeah. I think without a business being properly organized, any business, but especially an agency, because you're dealing with so many moving variables, there's just no way to actually scale. You're going to end up bleeding clients. You're going to end up making a lot of untoward errors. It's kind of a funny story. Earlier on, when we were starting Cloud Campaign, we had an agency approach us, and they were on a different solution, and they weren't organized as they were growing. And so they started hiring a lot of different interns, and they had one intern accidentally post a picture of herself playing beer pong on a Fortune 500 company social media accounts.
Oh, shit.
You can imagine they lost that client and the $10,000 monthly retainer that came with them.
Wow.
So, and we've heard tons of stories like this where people kind of keep everybody together. They mix and match content. They post content to the wrong brand. So, with your agency, staying organized as you grow is incredibly important. And that means a lot of things, right? It also means having proper and organized expectations with your clients. Wow, I'm really pixelated here. So I apologize.
You don't even look like a human being. You just look like this.
It's like a moving blur here. Yeah. I'm just gonna roll with it here. So apologies. I think something, we brought on, and shout out to Ken, who's kind of our new head of customer success, and something that he's really approached us with is having really clear expectations and a shared mutual plan with your clients, and having that organization so that each client knows their exact, what are they getting? What are they paying for? And what are their expectations for what they're paying for? And having that organization together will help you retain clients and have better relationships.
100%.
And also for just, streamlining what you're doing. So again, if you have everything mixed together, you're using 50 different tools, you're probably not very organized. You're probably task switching a lot. You're probably switching between platforms, which can be really laborious. And, for agencies, a lot of people know this, the margins aren't always that good. So if you have to hire a large team, you're going to really crush your margins. So totally. Using the proper tools to stay organized is also really important.
Yeah, I would say tools, and then in terms of fulfillment with organization, having the right tools and having the right systems for your internal team. So it's easier to scale when you guys have something that you provide over and over again to different clients. So it's harder to scale when you're doing SEO and PPC and social media and, Facebook ads. And so what is the key to success when it comes to scaling a social media agency is you guys focus on a certain thing, albeit social media organic or ads or both together, but you sign up clients and they might be slightly customized, but you have systems and processes for every single service that you provide, and your team members know, okay, this is what we need to do for this, and this is the tool we're using, and this is how to keep everything organized and streamlined. So, the organization when it comes to internally combined with the tools, I think is really the key to success when it comes to, keeping things streamlined and on the right path. Do you agree with that, Ross?
Yeah, 100%. And I think part of that too is having organized pricing structures, especially if you are offering all these different marketing strategies. If you start really mixing and matching and customizing your pricing constantly, again, if you have clients, we've had this in the past, where they start talking to each other and they say, hey, why are they paying this and I'm paying this? And also every single time you have a conversation with the client, it's this whole big process. But if you really have structured pricing in place that's organized and makes sense, it makes it a lot easier to grow and have, again, those stronger relationships.
Yes, totally. Okay, speaking of stronger relationships, let's talk about this. So let's talk about how to build better relationships with your client. So I will start off and then I'll have you kind of take the lead on that afterwards. So one of the things that I wish I would have done the moment I started my agency is get a project management tool, because we use that to be transparent with our clients and communicate with our clients. So we use Basecamp. I know there's a million other project management tools out there that are awesome. I've just been on Basecamp for so long that, I don't want to take the time and resources to switch, but we love Basecamp. And so how we build better relationships with our clients is we put them in Basecamp. And so we add them as a client in Basecamp and we assign them tasks. We need this, we need that. We get their approval on stuff. We tell them what we're doing and timelines. They can see the calendar. And so everything is pretty transparent and they know what's happening. So we don't just say, hey, give us your money and we'll reach out to you in 45 days when we're done. We'll take care of it. Don't worry about it. Trust us. So they're in the loop constantly of what we're doing. And so I think that helps. And then on that topic, constant communication. So weekly check-ins, reporting, whether that's bi-weekly or monthly or however you want to do it, asking them, how are things going on your end? What are you guys seeing? Like, are you getting good leads? It's just about that communication that I feel like we get so busy, with other things, that it's just like, if you work that into your processes and you have a project manager and they know exactly when they need to be reaching out to clients and what to share and what not to share, it makes things so much easier, and it makes the client feel like you are part of their team versus just this contractor that they're paying and hoping that they're getting results from. So everything you could do to try to ingrain yourself in the actual team and the team dynamics of the companies you're working with, that is how you really grow strong relationships, because you want people to feel like you are an invaluable resource to their team and you're just an extension of their in-house team. And so the only way to do that is to communicate and build those strong relationships with them and be transparent and keep them in the loop of everything going on.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't be more right about that. You mentioned it, keeping them in a loop, transparency, and you also mentioned reporting. Both of those things are absolutely critical to maintaining strong relationships. The reality is the turnover in the agency space is really, really high. So you're already fighting an uphill battle. So really having that transparency and keeping clients in, and also managing expectations and really selling the value of what you do and not just what you're going to do. And this is a mistake I've seen so many agencies make, where they say, look, sign up with us, it's X amount per month, and we're going to post to your social media 5 times. So the client understands what you're going to do, but doesn't necessarily understand why. And having all the stats and the data to back that up matters. So being able to tell clients, hey, look, we're going to post to Instagram and you need to have an Instagram presence because you're going to get 23 times the engagement if you then just posting to Facebook. Hey, we're going to schedule videos to YouTube because it's the second largest search engine. I mean, these are all true facts and they really help drive home what you're doing and the value your clients are going to see. I mean, something that people don't understand, I know that setting value for organic social media and selling that to clients is not always easy, right? Because they're saying, how much new revenue are you going to draw from this? But 70% of people now, before they buy from your clients, before they use their services, they're going to look them up on social media. And your clients need to understand that, to understand why it's so important and what you're doing is driving so much value. So being able to really pitch the value is kind of the first part that I would suggest, and making that part of all of your conversations. And again, that's part of keeping them in the loop. And the other part that you touched on is reporting. And this is all falling in line with that. So what exactly are you doing? Why are you writing the content that you're writing? Is your audience actually responding to it and having the data behind that? How much are you actually growing their following over time? Because if it's just a black box and they just keep writing a check every month without seeing all that and the conversations back and forth, it's just really easy to kind of cut ties. And I think that's part of the reason there is such high turnover in this space.
Mm-hmm. No, you nailed it there. And it's interesting too, because The thing with social, organic social, is it is branding. You know, it's brand building. Like we're posting organically for clients, but they're not going to have like droves of people signing up because of our organic social media posts alone, right? So, but it is so advantageous and necessary for them to have a brand presence on social. So I love that you said like you kind of have to sell it again to them. Like they know they should be on it, but like why exactly do we need to be posting for them every single day, right? So I love how you mentioned, share that YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. Share the data. Like with LinkedIn, when we're getting ready to revamp our Luminetics homepage, we're putting stats on there, like so we can pre-sell these people. Like you need to be on LinkedIn, but let me drive it home a little bit more. Let me share these 5 stats with you on how many people are there and how many decision makers are on LinkedIn, and how 74% of buyers say they choose the sales rep that shares the most information and provides the most value. So those things matter. So I love how you said that. And then data. I mean, that all is data. This comes back to data at the end of the day, right?
Yep.
So even when you're doing reporting, you're saying, hey, look, this worked really well and it drove X amount of traffic to your website. Oh, this post didn't do the greatest, but it's okay because we're going to try something else. And so that's the thing too, you guys. You shouldn't be afraid to share stats that aren't great, because that's the nature of the beast. And when you're just going to them and you're hiding the post that like didn't do so hot, that looks fishy, because it's social media. Like not everything is going to be a win. So you have to share the wins and the losses with them. And I mean losses in terms of like engagement and posts that didn't get as many views or whatever it is, right? So you have to be transparent with those people, because they want to see that and they want to see, what are you going to do next? Okay, well, we're not going to post this, but instead let's try something like this. Let's try a twist, So it's just being transparent and using that data.
Yeah, I mean, you're exactly right. Sharing the losses is incredibly important. And this is a trap that agencies fall into. They're so worried about getting the initial sale. They'll tell their clients, look, sign up for us. We're going to schedule a couple organic social posts for you, and you're going to see your sales go crazy. And even if you're not actually saying that, that's probably what a lot of your clients are expecting. They think they're going to pay you, and all of a sudden things are going to go crazy for them. And that's not necessarily the reality. I think you mentioned this. Your social presence now is kind of what your website was 5 years ago. So it used to be that a person's first impression of you was from landing on your website and seeing that. But now it's actually your social media profiles. Yeah. That's where they're getting the first impression of you, and then they go to your website. And so I think it's kind of reworking how that all works in how we make those connections in our brain to the clients.
Totally. Yes, indeed. Okay, let's move on to systems and processes. So we've talked a little bit about this, but let's dive a little bit further. So what systems and processes do you need to have in place to grow your social media agency? And so again, I kind of mentioned this earlier with having, systems, but you really should have systems for everything. Onboarding, fulfillment, sales process, your approval process for getting social media, posts approved. And so it really is key when you have these SOPs, because what happens is you could, you have people you're working with, employees or freelancers, that you want people to be going in there, and the moment let's work together, if you hire someone else, and they follow these processes and they know exactly what's happening, instead of just throwing people out there and saying, oh, this is what we do. Oh no, you did it wrong. So, and then things get chaotic. I've been there, done that. And that's kind of the nature of the beast with agencies anyways. Things can be a little chaotic, but it's so much less chaotic when you have systems in place for every little thing. That way, anyone who comes in to work with you that's new can get up to speed quickly and get rocking and rolling.
Yeah, I mean, you're completely right. I don't know. I was putting together IKEA furniture the other day without the right tools, and it was absolutely miserable. And I think this is, that's always the same, right? If you have the right tool, it makes everything much easier. And it's the exact same thing with scaling your agency.
Yeah.
If you are using 50 different tools and it's kind of this, amalgamated solution of, Facebook and Hootsuite and Google Docs and Data Studio and you name it, all of a sudden you're going to run into errors. And I can tell you, our clients that I typically work with, they usually manage anywhere from 1 client to up to 1,500. And what I can tell you about the larger ones is they all have very strategic systems in place that are all very aligned with what the agency performs. And if they try to, put this hodgepodge together of tools, it always breaks. It always breaks. And so having the right tools is incredibly important. And also using the tools that are on the up and up. I think in our marketplace, there's a lot of people offering crazy bots and things that store your session cookies and emulate you as a user, which can get you in a lot of trouble and get your clients banned. I mean, there was a situation last year we saw where one tool got removed from Facebook and Instagram, and then everything that agencies had scheduled through that tool for the past 3 years was wiped off the face of the earth.
Wow.
And so using tools that are following proper API protocols and are not using some of those hacky things is pretty important.
I agree.
Yeah.
And the thing, and I love how you said, like, you know, streamline tools too. Like, find tools where you don't need to have like 20 tools to do one thing, you know? So get tools that are reliable, obviously, and aren't sketchy and doing sketchy things or have sketchy people behind them that will go on your list, like you just said, right? So do your homework and getting the right tools. But tools, software tools and systems, you know, are really the key to all of this. So there hasn't been a better time to leverage technology to scale an agency. I mean, there's just so much out there, but you just have to be smart about which ones you choose. So I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah.
Which brings me to the next one, which are the best tools to help you scale quickly. So obviously we have Ross with Cloud Campaign that he's going to talk about here in a second. But you know, aside from social media management, I mentioned earlier, having a project management tool is amazing, whether it's Basecamp or Trello or Asana or Teamwork. I mean, there's a bunch, like, you know, top 10 that agencies use, but you guys need some sort of project management tool if you're going to scale and take on multiple clients. There's no like, oh, I might have it. Like, you have to have a project management tool, period. That's probably the number one aha moment back in the day when I discovered Basecamp. And I was like, why the hell have I not been using this for the years prior? Like, what took me so long? Yeah. So that is one. And also figure out, like, how do you communicate with people? So we use Slack for communication when it comes to our team. And I'm talking internal team. Some people will have clients on Slack too. That's up to you. But we use Slack internally, and we use Google Drive for everything. So our, you know, daily tools when it comes to just managing the agency, not to do with clients, just internally, are Basecamp, Slack, and Google Drive. So you need to figure out what works for you in that regard. And then, of course, the social media management software, which I will turn that over to Ross to talk about.
Yeah, and those are all awesome tools, by the way. We are huge Slack fans. And the good thing about agencies, there's enough of you out there now where there's entire industries being built around you. I mean, that's what we built our tool on. And so there are other great tools too, like Go High Level, which, you know, we're going to be talking with them tomorrow. But yeah, they have a great CRM for agencies. I mean, there's a lot of great tools. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy to talk about our tool, obviously. And a lot of what we talked about is what we built our tool around. Our goal is to kind of help streamline everything and bring it all under one roof. So obviously I'm biased towards our tool as a suggestion of best tools to use, but
it is awesome. So Ross, the Cloud Campaign, I've never actually seen anything like it. I didn't even know anything like that existed out there. So, you know, there's tools like Sprout Social and Hootsuite and eClincher, and you could go on Buffer, and they're cool for just scheduling social media and social management, but they're not specifically built for agencies. And so what I love about Ross's platform, Cloud Campaign, is they're specifically built for agencies. So it prevents you from doing those stupid mistakes like posting your beer pong picture on a client account, right? Because it's so intuitive, and the way it's set up allows you to scale an agency and not have to worry about having to like triple, quadruple check everything because of the way it's set up specifically for agencies like us who have multiple clients. So I think you guys would find value in it. And I want Ross to share a little bit more about this. And do you want me to share your screen now, Ross, if you have that
up?
That sounds great. I want Ross to kind of show you guys what Cloud Campaign is like. So at the end of the day, you guys need some sort of social media management tool. Like, that's what we're telling you, right? So you need something to schedule posts, to keep things streamlined in there. And Ross and team have an awesome tool to help you guys do that. And I am going to share the screen so he can kind of walk you through what this looks like. And oops, wrong person. Hold on. Okay, I'm going to put you up on there.
Cool.
Okay, there you go.
Perfect. Is it on my right screen here?
It is, but I'm going to take you off. And sorry, I'm just going to go solo with the screen because it cuts off. They can't see everything. So
also my wonderful camera here picture is probably not necessary.
Okay, so now you are full screen officially.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I mean, I can definitely talk through kind of a few of the key subjects that we talked about today and how we tried to address them. And like I said, there's enough of you marketing agencies out there that we've been able to build our business on working with you and build a tool that is specifically designed for you, which has been an amazing experience. And part of that is I know a lot of agencies are always trying to punch a bit above their weight class and provide a more professional feel to their clients. So a big part of what we do is actually white label. So we can completely brand this tool to you so that when you send reports and approvals and everything like that, they really take your branding into consideration. You can even add your clients in. We talked about transparency. So we want our agencies to be able to add their clients into the system, maybe even, expand their revenue streams by, having access, charging for access to the platform. And then, they're all going to be logging into your kind of white labeled portal. As far as not posting content to the wrong brand and not, posting beer pong pictures to your larger companies, that's why we have separate workspaces. So every single client you manage can have their own completely unique, completely siloed workspace. So their own schedules, their own reports, their own content library, everything. So you will never post the wrong content to the wrong brand. And again, it's all about staying organized as you grow. I won't spend all day in here, but a few of the things that I just wanted to touch on because I think it's relevant. I know that content curation from when I talk to agencies always seems to be one of the most laborious parts of social media management. So we actually have tons of content built into the system for you, whether it's news integrations or a partnership with Pexels or even an integration with Instagram for user-generated content. Another thing that you had briefly mentioned is approvals. Approvals are huge and they cause so much frustration between client and agency. Content goes out that they didn't want, or maybe it's not going out on time, or clients can't figure out how to approve content and you're using sheets and emails back and forth and the whole 9 yards. So we completely tried to rethink the approval process. So the way ours works is you can just come in here and select the content that you want to have approved. So I can say approved by April or whatever I want it to say, and then select the content items. Then this creates what's called the tokenized link. So all I have to do is text my client a link or email them a link. Assuming they can figure out how to click on a link, they can approve content. And it's all integrated, meaning you can schedule it and say, look, if you don't say no, it's going to go out, or you can say it has to be approved in time or else it's not going to go out. And either way, it kind of puts the onus back on the client. So if there's that back and forth, the agency knows what happened. Does that make sense so far, hopefully?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. A few of the things that I think are worth just touching on is rethinking how you're scheduling content. Again, our goal is to supplant you having to use 4 or 5 different platforms, and also maybe make it so that you don't have to hire a ton of additional people and VAs and the whole thing to really scale your business. So one thing that we did is we created category-based scheduling within our system. So maybe you want to do Monday motivation, and every Monday at 9:18 a.m., you want a post to go out for your client. So we wanted to make it so you didn't need to go back and forth between your content and your schedule and just have it all be part of the same process. So as you create content within the system, which I can do just by popping over here and adding in my images, my videos, or links, I can throw in a category and say, this is part of my Monday motivation. And so now as I just create this piece of content, it's automatically scheduled. I don't need to think about it. And it takes out the entire scheduling component of organic social media management.
I love that.
And the last few things I kind of want to touch on here are the analytics section. We talked about, really driving home the value that you're bringing and driving the transparency between your agency and your clients that you manage. And so for them to be able to see the impact that you're making really matters. So being able to see their follower count and how that's been changing over time, their impressions, what the top posts have been, link clicks, all of that information in an easily digestible way is really important. And a few of the things that I think are really popular and I've seen really increase the retention for agencies is, again, being that data driven. So one thing that we can do is tell you which type of content is resonating with your client's audience. So for instance, for our Facebook page, I know that video posts with a short caption have been 112% more engaging than other post types to just this page. And this has been the best time for this type of content. So when I'm creating my strategy, clients understand why you're making the decisions that you're making, and they love seeing that you're being data-driven as an agency.
Yes.
And the last part about this, what were you saying?
Nope, I was just saying 100%. The data-driven agency is huge, and I feel like there's not enough social media agencies that are like that right now. There's not enough that are really heavy on the data side, and I feel like it makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah, no, I couldn't, yeah, again, they're all about, hey, this is what we're going to do, and not, hey, this is the value, and this is what happened from our efforts. And that's what I'm really trying to drive home here. And part of that, again, is, demographic breakdown. So here, this is going to show you where your followers are coming from, their average age, their average industry type, everything on an interactive heat map that your clients can see. So they know that you're actually targeting people that they care about, and their followers aren't coming from random places throughout the world that might not actually be their perfect customer.
Right.
Yeah, and then the last kind of part in this is your ad analytics, which I don't have set up in this workspace, but being able to, if you are running paid ads for your clients so that they can properly understand the value that they're getting from their paid campaigns as well, which obviously get pretty expensive. So it's really important. And then kind of similar to the approvals, just so you know, I know a lot of your clients are probably really tech savvy and they would love to log into a system like ours. And then I know a lot of your clients can barely figure out how to open up an email.
Yep.
So we really tried to serve everybody across the board. So similar to the approvals, when you generate a report, you can do it as a tokenized link. So you just send them a link and they can get in here and view all of the data that you want them to be able to access. So trying to make that process even smoother.
Yeah, I love that. It's so much more powerful than sending them a giant spreadsheet of things to look through. It's a lot more user friendly, if you will, and easier for them to physically see it versus just having to click the image for the link and read all of these different lines in the spreadsheet. So I love that part of it.
Yeah, again, having an integrated platform or tool, yeah, it does. It really helps things.
Love it. Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else on your screen you want to share? Do you want to go back to Pixelated Ross?
If you want to find out more, I think there's going to be links. I think without boring everybody too much, that's kind of the high level overview of, again, how we tried to address a lot of what we talked about earlier about transparency, staying organized, having the right systems in place, and hopefully all under one roof.
Yes, I love it. No, Cloud Campaign's awesome. So I'm on LinkedIn, and on accident. So LinkedIn and everyone got a treat today because this was just supposed to be in our Facebook group. I'm glad it messed up and we're everywhere. And you have some fans. So Asha says she loves Cloud Campaign. So you have some customers here that are joining us, which is awesome. David says data is king indeed. So we are going to post a link in the description. And if you're in the Facebook group, Mod Agency Insiders, we'll post a comment and you guys can try out Cloud Campaign to see if it would be a good fit for your agency. Don't you guys have a 14-day trial for us?
Yeah, exactly right. 14-day free trial. And then, live support. So if you have any questions at all, you can always ask for me directly, but there's also our whole team in place to answer all your questions.
Perfect. Yeah. So I highly recommend you guys check it out at the very least. And there's no credit card required, right? To check it out?
There is a credit card for the 14-day free trial, but you can cancel at any time. And you won't be charged anything. The reason for that, the tool is very powerful. So what we found is when we didn't have a credit card, we had people go in there and schedule like 500 posts for every single day that weren't planning on using the tool. So this just makes it a little bit steeper barrier to entry.
Yes, for sure. So we will post the my affiliate link. Just disclaimer: it is Mod Girl's affiliate link for you to check out. If you end up purchasing, we do get a little kickback. But it is an awesome tool. You guys know I rarely promote things, and I am a big fan of Cloud Campaign, and I feel like it's a game changer for social media agencies. I mean, there's really nothing that compares to it if you're talking about traditional social media management like Hootsuite and Buffer and the rest. So I think you guys will really like it. David wants to know what type of cost doesn't the Cloud Campaign run? Huh? I think he's just asking does.
What is our pricing?
Yeah, what is the pricing, he says?
Yeah. So it depends on exactly what you're, how many, basically our whole pricing is built on how many clients you manage. So it starts off at $39 a month and then can definitely scales up with your agency. And our goal was to keep pricing really, really, really simple. So as we help you grow and you add on more clients, our price goes up with you. And that way it's all aligned and it's really easy to kind of bill in and honestly pass a lot of the charges off to your clients as part of your packages.
Yeah, no, it's super affordable. He wants to know how it compares to Marin software.
Ooh, I know almost all of them. I don't know that I know that one very well, so I don't have a great answer.
Isn't Marin software, David? Don't they do a lot of like analytics stuff too? I think it's a lot more than just social media management. I think there's a lot on there. Ad management. That's what it says when I Googled it. You guys don't do ad management, right? Just organic?
We are really focused on organic. We have ad reporting in our system, just again, trying to make it easier to do reporting, but we don't have specifically ad management just yet. It's definitely on the roadmap because there's nothing worse than Facebook Ads Manager. I'm sorry. We love using Facebook for our ads, but their management tool is not great. So it's something that we want to hopefully build a better version of.
Yes. Okay. Awesome. David is still typing. Let us know, David, if you have another question. I know we're a little delayed. I'm going to go and read all these comments here. James says, great point. Right from the business start, we incorporated a project management structure. Yes, yes, yes. Transparency is key. Perfect. So at the end of the day, just to recap, the easiest way to scale a social media agency, which is what the point of this live is to leverage tools, leverage technology. We are now in 2021 where there are amazing tools and technology out there to help you streamline things and scale your agency and be transparent and have systems. I mean, at the end of the day, it sounds simple. It's a lot, it's obviously takes work to create systems and processes. And it's really just a mindset shift too of, okay, this is what we do when a client comes on board. This is how we're going to be transparent. This is how we're going to keep in the loop, keep them in the loop. This is how we're going to manage our social media approval process, and finding the right tools and getting everyone on the same page is key. And so thank you, Ross, for joining me today. I really do love the tool that you guys have. I think it's going to be a game changer for a lot of agencies that haven't yet heard of you guys. And this will not be the last time that you guys see Ross. Ross and I will be going live again and helping you out. And this is what I really want to help you guys with and Mod Agency Insiders. And for those of you who own agencies, is to help you streamline things when it comes to social media, so you can scale, take on more clients. And at the end of the day, it's not even that, it's making sure your clients are happy and they stay with you, right? Like that's the whole thing. Like it's pointless for you guys to take on new social media clients and then you're not proving to them your value and then they're just turning over like crazy. Like that's not what we want. We want you guys to take on more clients, but we want you to keep your clients so you can continue increasing your monthly recurring revenue and you don't have to worry about, oh crap, I just lost another one, so data is king, showing people what you're doing. That's why I love Cloud Campaign too. The platform to show the data is so awesome. There's a ton of data, not only that, but it's just easy for clients to understand. Sometimes you see reports from agencies and you're like, oh dear Lord, like where do I look? Like what are these numbers even mean? So yep. I love how simple it is to understand it even for people who are, like you said, have difficulty opening an email or, for not the most tech savvy clients. Cloud Campaign makes it really super simple to see what's going on and really show clients the results and the data and why they need to continue paying you guys for social media services. So I love it. Thank you again, Ross. If you guys have any questions, let us know. If you are watching this on any other platform besides our Mod Agency Insiders Facebook group and you're an agency, please join the Mod Agency Insiders Facebook group as we will be posting more there. Thank you for joining us on all the platforms. I'm glad this got messed up and it went everywhere. So better. And thank you guys for being patient with us. And Ross, stay on here when I hit the off button and then we'll continue chatting. So thank you guys again. Let us know if you have questions on anything Cloud Campaign. Let us know in the Facebook group. You can tag me and Ross and we will get with you. All right.
Cool. Thanks everybody.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day.